Hey, I'm Brian from ClassicRockHistory.com, and today I am very, very happy to present two wonderful, legendary musicians, Annie Haslam and Jim McCarty of the band that we all love, Renaissance. And they're here to talk about some upcoming shows. And thank you so much, Annie and Jim. It's really nice to meet you. How you doing today?
We're doing good. Yeah.
So I'm in New York. Where are you two?
Jim's in
I'm
France.
I'm
You're in France.
in France, down in the south.
Oh, south of France, huh? The south of France? Is that what you
Yeah,
call it there?
south of France.
Yes.
The Côte d'Azur, they call it.
Ah, okay. And how about you, Annie? Where are you?
I'm in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we're both on the Northeast,
Yeah.
and Jim's all across the world there in France.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
It really is amazing, right? I mean, that, you know, we could sit here and we could talk to each other in real time and have a conversation without any delay.
Yeah.
I know. I think we never thought of anything like that 50 years ago.
I remember the comics. I don't know if you remember the comics, Dick Tracy, where he used to talk to a watch, and this is like the 1960s, maybe even older than that. We thought, wow, that would be cool one day if we could do something like
Yeah.
that. And here we are
Yeah, here we are.
in modern times. Okay, so I'm just going to read a small little snippet of a press release I have here for the audience. Um, Annie Haslam and Jim McCartney will present the History of Renaissance on November 21st and 22nd at the Wilde Theater in Edwardsville, Illinois. Then on November 28th at the Newton Theater in New Jersey, and on November 29th at the Lansdowne Theater in Pennsylvania. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Did you say the Widely Theatre?
I think I mispronounced it wrong. How do you pronounce it?
I thought you. Yeah, no, yes. Every time I try and say it, I say the Wildly, but it's the Widely. Um,
Widely Theater. All right.
the Widely kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
No, it's in Edwardsville, Illinois, and played there on our farewell tour last October. And I was retiring the band basically, um, because I joined in 1971, and it's been a long time, but it's done some amazing things. But it got to that point really where it was time to think about you know. Tuning it down a little bit. Tuning the one. So, but I had a knee replacement in January, and so once I got over that, I would think I was going to carry on with my art career. So I'd got it planned out that I wasn't going to be singing anymore unless anybody invited me to be in anything or whatever. But not with the whole band because it was my responsibility for so many years and it was a lot of work, but very enjoyable, I have to say. But anyway, and then all of a sudden in September, I get a call from a promoter in Illinois, in Edwardsville, and he said, "I'd like to bring you down on your own to do a one-woman show." So,
wow. And what was
yeah,
your initial reaction when you heard
it
that?
was no.
Because was that a set in stone retirement from performing with Renaissance?
The thing is, I mean, you can only go on so far, and then you've got a body to think about, with all
Yeah.
the traveling and everything. And so it was time, and I was suffering from bone on bone on my knee, my right knee, and they wanted me to have the operation before, around the time when the tour would be. And I thought, I don't know whether we'll be touring next year because I don't know what's going to be happening in the world or what's going to be happening, so I decided to do the tour. Had an injection in my knee that helped a great deal, but it still didn't take away the pain. So the whole tour was very painful. Still
Hmm.
fantastic, the band were great, but yeah,
Did the pain go away once you hit the stage, though? Or
no,
did you still
no,
feel it?
actually, at the Wadley Theatre, I fell over.
Wow.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't. It was because of my focus. Because yeah, the pain was pretty bad, and I had to have music stand with the words on to remind me, only because of mainly the focus to keep me away from thinking about my knee. It was pretty
Hmm.
bad. And yeah, we were performing Song for All Seasons, and it's got a long beginning, about oh gosh, about 10 minutes, isn't it, Jim? It's a long song. And I over the years I've orchestrated the way I move on stage so that it doesn't look abrupt or anything, because I you can't really dance to our music. And I guess some women could throw themselves across the stage, but I'm never been like that. So I orchestrated everything for my movements of moving around, when I would move in between different passages of music, and I'd got it all sorted out. And then I kind of had a tambourine in my hand because I was going to come in with a tambourine. And so I moved slowly, and what I did was just looked down slowly, and I noticed that there was the wires. They were all the cables. They were all taped down perfectly. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
So I went over with my right leg, which was the bad one, and then I should have really not looked down again, because all I needed to do was move my left foot just to make sure I was in the same place. I looked down and lost my focus and went straight back.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I was lying there and the band were playing. They carried on playing because they didn't see me
That's
go
what
down.
musicians do.
Yeah, the audience were going, no, no, get out.
The old Titanic sinking in the Titanic story, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they when they finally came over to me, and I just lifted my head up to the audience and said, you can laugh now, just because I didn't know what else to say. But anyway, I got up. I thought that I was probably going to feel something later on, which wasn't for a couple of days. So I got up and we carried on. Right? We started the song again and carried on. Funnily enough, I felt like when I went down, I felt like somebody had got my head and put it slow motion, because I didn't hit my head. So I felt like I had
Well,
some help there. Yeah, absolutely, no
you
doubt.
probably did.
No, I'd
Yeah.
had angelic help there, for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, but the fantastic audience there as well. That was the first show, and the second show went really well. And then I got home, and then I found out that I'd done something to my discs, L4 and 5, and it was in terrible pain, but got through it. Got my operation and my knee. I'm okay. It's still a bit stiff, but everybody's different, and you've got to do the exercises.
Sure.
And so I didn't think of singing at all. I was going to get on with building a new website at some point, and then I got this phone call. So I said, well, I can't. There's no way I could do it on my own. And then I just thought, well, started to think about who I could bring in, and it was over a couple of days we were trying to come up with the way to do it, that made sense. And then all of a sudden, click, call Jim. He wrote the song that I got the job with, which was Island.
Yeah.
He was no audition, and he started Renaissance. It was perfect, absolutely perfect. Couldn't be any better. But I was concerned he might be busy, because I know he was busy last year, with the Yardbirds and everything.
How did you feel, Jim, when you got that phone call?
Well, it was very nice because I haven't really spoken to Annie very much, over the years. I did the 50th reunion, which was nice. That was in the Keswick
Yeah.
Theatre, and that was in 2019, and that was good fun. And every time we met, we always got on, and it seemed like a good idea because I've been doing a lot of talking in the Yardbirds show recently. So I talk the history of the Yardbirds, and we play the songs as they come up. And I've got one of the other guys in the band. He plays a few drum songs for me, so I don't have to keep running backwards and forwards. And that's been an interesting sort of show to do. And I like the idea of talking out the history. People are really interested in
I think musicians are natural history teachers. I really
it.
believe that.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
the thing is, it's a whole different culture you're talking about. You're
yeah,
talking 50 years ago or whatever, and people are, even if they don't know the band, they're interested in how things worked for us, and how we toured and all that stuff. It's interesting.
sure. I mean, what better primary source to talk to be taught than the musicians like both of you.
Mm.
You know,
Yes.
I think this is an awesome thing that you're doing with these
And
shows.
we've never really got together apart from that one show and just a couple of songs. We never really performed together, so it's exciting for me. I mean, she's such a great singer, you know.
Amazing singer. Like,
Well, as you know,
yes, I mean, you've brought so many people such great joy over such a long time.
Well,
And
it's the music. There's nothing like it. It's timeless. Um, I used to say to Mickey sometimes, I said, it's not really about the music. It's not just the music, it's us, the five of us, which was the classic band really to
yeah.
start with. There's nothing, my band's great now, but obviously it was different then. And we'd go out and it was just, I don't,
It
I
just
don't know.
felt right.
It was more than the music, it was definitely, I mean, people were crying, back in the 70s, really saying that it had changed their lives. I mean, that's with a lot of music, it's not just us. So, I mean, anybody that can perform, really good, melodic, meaningful music, then it's needed, especially now, in
Did you
these
feel
times.
like during those time periods, especially in the 70s, when you were on stage performing, that there was something, something beyond your understanding that was going on stage?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We did a show, we went to Japan and then we came back, and then 3 weeks later we went back to Korea, South Korea, to do some shows. They couldn't time it right, so we came home, just got rid of the jet lag, and then we had to come back to Korea. We played in South Korea, and it was the day that we played in Seoul. It was when Mr. Kim, who was the older man, was in charge then, was handing. There was a huge ceremony going on, and he was handing over his everything to his son. That's what the whole ceremony was for. And my cat's doing something he shouldn't be doing now. Okay. um, uh, he's got those eyes like this, like, what can I do next? So anyway, we sold out 2 nights in this place in Seoul. That's all we were doing. We went out for. Um, the audience were like, you could feel that they were really touched. And
Yeah.
with the thing is, with audiences out there, they don't really applaud as much until the very end of the show. So
Different
when we
culture.
first went, yeah, when we first went, everybody was wearing a mask almost, It was very polite, and at the end, they just the hat and the roof comes off. So we did very well, and I think it was the first night this happened. We were playing Midas Man, and we got to the second verse, and I started to sing it, and then all of a sudden, about 2 feet away from my face was Mr. Kim's face, in like it was like a gossamer silk kind of look in his face. That kind of, it wasn't smoky, it wasn't, it was very different. But there, it was him right there, right in front of me. I went on, and I hadn't been thinking about him, you know.
Sure.
And anyway, I I think I remember thinking, I'm sending love to you, Mr. Kim. Split
Yeah.
second, and then I think I only missed one word. It was so fast. So when I came off, and I'd forgotten about it through the rest of the show, when I got off, the sound guy, the guy who's doing our sound said, Annie, he said, in the second verse of Midas Man, you were surrounded by this white, like white as smoke, steam, whatever it was, all around you. And he said, I said to the girl, I said, told you no dry eyes, nothing. She said, I'm not touching it. Nothing was on.
yeah,
Wow.
So
that's
isn't that the weirdest thing? And again, when I went back to Japan because after the tsunami, I donated a painted guitar to Music Cares, which is part of the Grammy thing, isn't it? And
Yes.
s- and a friend of mine had some frequent flyer miles, and I was going to get a free hotel, so I went there. This was like a month after the tsunami. It was a mess. You could barely see the water as you were flying in. It was just everything was a mess. But I was part of this benefit show, and I sang two or three Renaissance songs with a young Japanese band, and they were great. And the similar kind of thing, we didn't go on until about 2 in the morning because that usually happens in Japan. You don't, and also Brazil is you go on really late. And a similar kind of thing happened where I was thinking about, I can't remember what it was now. It was something to do with the country, something, but it's exactly the same kind of thing when all of a sudden I was taken for a brief second into some other place.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
something that
amazing. The Mr. Kim thing was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm,
I
go
mean,
ahead, Gene.
you can't make this stuff up, can you?
No.
You can't. You can't.
It's the power of music and
I could tell you
performance.
lots and lots of things that have happened to me, but you wouldn't believe them.
I think I would believe them.
Yeah, well, there's
Yeah,
a lot of people that, I'm
yeah,
an open book. Good
yeah.
things sometimes, some things not so good. You might say something you shouldn't, but no, my dad was like that as well. Kind of an open book, basically. And so you tend to just, I don't know, I don't know if I asked for it. I just want, as long as it's good stuff. And I wasn't threatened by this. His face was right in front of me, but I didn't feel threatened by it. But why would that be given? Why would that happen?
Because it was the power that was given to you in that moment.
Yes.
The power that love that you were expressing, that
Yeah.
you were making people feel something.
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah.
very special. And I
Mhm.
The
think, go ahead, Gene.
energy of the audience, I guess, as well, isn't it?
Mm.
The
Yeah,
energy in the audience, the combined energy that was coming out.
Of course, yeah.
yeah, you could
There's
feel
not
that
one.
on stage, right?
Yeah.
When an audience is, I mean,
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
musicians always talk about, how, when you stand on the stage and you see that audience staring back at you and you could just feel something
Of
from that
course.
audience that
Yeah.
takes you to another level of performance
It does.
that's hard to understand also.
I wrote a song recently, well, in 2017, I guess. Well, actually, I wrote it with Michael Dunford in 2012 before he passed away, called Symphony of Light. And my favorite painter is Leonardo da Vinci. And I've painted several paintings of his. And I felt like he's been with me when I've been doing them and everything. And then, so we were recording this album called Grandine El Vento. And he had this music, and I said, I'd like to write a song about Leonardo da Vinci. He said, it's too literal. I don't want that. I said, well, all right then. Who wrote Starry, Starry Night? What's that about?
Right, I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
And he said, oh no. I said, it's about Vincent van Gogh. But he still wasn't convinced. But anyway, what happened was I had a giant book of Leonardo's paintings and I had it in the studio the whole time while we were working on that song. And I had to come home and write some words to the first part of the song. And I think I stopped the car 3 times. It's a short piece, but it's about when Leonardo wakes up in because the last couple of years of his life it was the king, wasn't it? The king of France gave him an apartment to live in. That's where he died.
Yeah.
And so that the first part is talking about it wakes up in the morning and the universal light comes in, the symphony of light and blah 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 blah. And oh my God, it's one of my favorite songs we've ever done. And every time I've sung it, it's wherever it is in the set. Even the band have always said something happens to you when you do it, and then from that moment on, the show gets better. Not that it's bad; it's something that lights me up inside.
yeah,
And I've seen his face. Sometimes I can see Leonardo's face. There's a pencil drawing that was done. I don't know whether it was a self-portrait he did of himself when he was 65, which is as long as he lived, I think, wasn't he? Wasn't old. And so that's what I see. It's usually at the back of the theatre, and I can see it many
yeah.
times. I've seen that. So the whole everything lights up. You can actually see it on YouTube. It's called A Symphony of Light, and it shows because I did paintings to go with it, all the songs behind us with our own 10-piece orchestra.
Well, I'll make sure to include that in the
There's a lot
audience.
of stuff you don't know about.
Yeah, but it's I think that when you're seeing stuff like that and you're being inspired, right? And I guess you would agree, Jim, when you're being so inspired by art, because how art inspires art, the
Mhm.
audience is feeding off that. They're seeing, I mean, music fans know when something is genuine, when
Yeah.
something is real,
Hmm.
and that's
Yeah, our audience is a fantastic, really wonderful people. And a lot of people have got together and got married and had kids, and they met at the Renaissance concert.
They're very loyal, aren't they? They're very loyal to you, and I have
Oh my
noticed that.
gosh, yes.
yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
remember being in high school in the mid 70s, and having purchased, I'd heard on WNEW Carpet of the Sun from live at Carnegie Hall. And I went out and bought that two record set, and it remained one of my favorite records.
It's a brilliant sound as well for that year, isn't it? Oh my
Yes,
God.
yes,
Kachejian. Oh,
it really was. It really was a special album, and it was just there was something different about what I was hearing, and hearing that piano at the beginning of a lot of the music. There's the sound of that piano, the phrasing of the piano, and then the voice, and then the vocals, and the lyrics, and the orchestration. It was unlike anything I had ever heard before.
yeah.
And
Well, if it wasn't for Jim up there in that screen,
yeah,
I'd be talking to you.
yeah,
It's like,
Jim.
isn't it? It's like,
Thank you, Jim.
thank you, Jim. Bless
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I was saying before that how it started was just an accident, because we got this band together, and John Hawkin was the keyboard player, and he was a rock and roll player. He was
yeah.
from the National Teens, and he suddenly played some classical Beethoven in one of our songs, and we thought, well, oh, that's great. Let's keep that in. It was a complete accident. We were just jamming away, and that became like the sound. He did it in other songs, and he had a classical background when he started. And
Sure.
it was interesting how it all evolved.
It's funny because I think, with bands that were coming out of the late 60s, early 70s, a lot of the musicians that were in a lot of those bands were classically trained piano players, were classically trained musicians. That's just what people did,
Yeah,
on
of
both
course.
sides of the Atlantic,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's kind of been lost, over the past couple of decades. But back then, I mean, there wasn't much studio gimmickry. I mean, you had to play. You had to be a musician. You had to know how to play your instrument.
yes,
And there was a lot of competition too.
yes,
And you could hear that in the music,
yes.
with what you were doing. Why do you think Renaissance was so big in the Northeast in the United States?
Because we spent more time there than anywhere else.
Well, that's a
Uh,
pretty good answer.
yeah, because
It's that easy.
Yeah.
hello, yeah. I think because we just, I know that we got paid very well,
Yeah.
and to go over to the West. I don't think that, but it doesn't feel like the fans were there. There weren't so many fans on the West Coast either. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it was
Yeah.
just to stay where all the money was, but yeah, we were up and down the East Coast, weren't we? Huge.
It's funny because when you think back, that's a time period when I grew up as a fan in the 70s in the New York area. I mean, there was such a diverse selection of musical styles that were big. I mean, Southern rock was really big here. Of course, heavy metal, soft rock, everything was big here. I think that there's just such a diverse population and just such a large population of fans in a small area that people just wanted to hear good stuff, and Renaissance just hit it really big. I mean,
I came out the first time with before the band came out. I was I lived with Miles Copeland.
yes,
Of the Police fame, and you know
yes,
um, and he ended up managing us, and he came over with his band Wishbone Ash, and they were doing a tour over here.
right,
So he said, "Do you want to come? Do you want to come on the tour with us?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to." So, and on that tour, when we got to Philadelphia, um, Miles got me an interview with Ed Sharkey, who
Mm.
was on WMMR then, who
Right.
actually became a very, very close friend, him and his wife, family, close friend of ours. And of course, in those days, you could play whatever you wanted, couldn't you?
Yes, it was very
So,
different back then.
yeah, that was my first ever interview.
Yeah.
And also Alison Steele on
Yeah.
WNEW. There's another one. She
Yes.
became a close friend. Yeah, it's
I,
wonderful.
I believe that's where I first heard Renaissance was on WNEW.
The Nightbird.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Nightbird. Yes. I mean
Where was
that.
that?
Bird.
Third City in New York.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was New York. Yeah.
All right.
WNEW was a huge station back then in the 70s. And a lot of the DJs are still, they're like on Sirius Radio now. There's,
Elvis, I think, is on Sirius, isn't he?
I'm sorry, who? Which one?
Dennis Elsis.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's on.
Um, I
Yeah.
mean, there were a lot of famous ones. Dave Herman, you
Scott
know,
Muni.
Scott Muni, Pat St. John.
Yeah.
That
Richard
was, I'm sorry,
Richard Neer.
Richard Neer, yes, who for the past decade has been on sports radio in the
Yeah,
morning.
right. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, WFAN.
Yeah.
And he can never get through a sports show without somebody mentioning music. Like he'll try to talk sports, but somebody will always bring him up because we grew up
Yeah,
with Richard Neer.
of course.
Little
Yeah,
Steve. Well, he's great, isn't he?
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's those were the great stations, and like you said, and they were able to play anything they wanted. So
Yeah.
they could play a 10-minute piece of music,
Hmm.
because most of your selections were long pieces of music,
Yeah.
and nowadays you don't really hear long pieces of music uh, on pop radio. Maybe college stations
Mm.
you could hear that
Well,
on.
that affected us really, Brian, because in the old days it was always everything had to be around the single. You always
Sure.
needed a single all the time, and it was a terrible stress, coming out with a hit single
Right.
and playing stuff. You could have done a whole album, and the albums weren't really selling.
How did you
Not
deal with that?
until after we broke up did our album sales suddenly go right, go accelerate.
Yeah, I mean, how did you deal with, I'm sure you had record company people telling you had to release short singles. How do you deal with that as a musical artist who has this vision of what you're doing?
Well, it got very hard in the end because we suddenly got desperate. We changed our lineup, and actually, we had Jimmy Page in the band.
Yeah.
Of course, Zeppelin
Sure,
didn't
of
really.
course.
They didn't do a single, did they? So um,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
the kiss of death because we went to Mickey Most, and Mickey Most was like the single maker, in chief, the main single guy in the UK, and he'd done a lot of hit singles. And so he presented us with songs that were written by other people, and they didn't suit us.
Didn't feel right, right?
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
feel, and he didn't have any real sort of feeling for what we were doing. He didn't really understand it. So that was the kiss of death. We went downhill after that.
And that's when you formed Renaissance, correct? Am I right?
Yes,
Time period there. Hmm.
we did do Dancing and Fuse. That was our last hurrah, really. We found that song, and that was a great song. But
But now you've been recently doing talks on the Yardbirds, right? Isn't that what you've been doing? And you've been
yes,
doing
but
shows,
so I've done this talking thing before, and
right?
so I'm used to it. I think it's great. People love it.
Of course, as we get older, as your fans get older, we like to hear the stories.
Yes.
We like to hear the behind the scenes stuff. You
Well,
know,
I
this,
could I could talk about Eric Clapton doing a Moody sitting in the van, not talking about it. And people love it.
of course they do. Yes, they like to hear stuff because, when you think back on the 70s, 60s and 70s, we didn't really get to see the bands all that much. I mean, this is before Cablevision TV.
That's
Bands
a cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there was so we didn't really get to see. There was an aura. There was like this mystique with bands where the only time you really saw them was like in a picture in Rolling Stone magazine or maybe on the Midnight Special,
Midnight Special, I was just going to
right?
say, yeah.
Which you appeared on. I remember that. But that was it. Once a week, maybe you'd see a band, on a Saturday night. Um,
Mhm.
Annie, are you originally from the United States or are you from overseas? Where are you originally from? Annie, where are you originally from?
Me,
Yes,
sorry.
yes.
I'm from Bolton in Lancashire.
Okay, all right. And
Uh,
and Jim, you're from England too, right? Are you originally from
Yeah,
England?
I've got to tell you this. I'm the fifth person from Liverpool that got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I,
Good
I guess
one.
I don't have to ask the first four, huh?
Yes.
Well, that's a great tidbit right there. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
very
good
interesting.
one, isn't it?
So now both of you have toured all over the world. Are there any particular countries or cities that you've enjoyed touring in that you've liked to visit?
Well, yeah, Annie was talking about Japan. I like Japan very much, and I'd like to go back just to have a look at all the gardens and go on the
Yeah, there's
go.
no time for that though, is there?
Now
Really?
that's
The
trouble.
forests and everything.
You're working.
Yeah.
Well, what about the food? Where in the world do you enjoy the food the most? I always find this interesting.
Well, India, of course.
India, really?
Yeah, English people love Indian food.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
big
Yeah,
thing with English people. The
yeah.
curry,
What type of Indian food? Like, is there any specialty dishes that you like?
and the spicy, spicy food.
Right.
I'm really a sort of vegetarian, but I do eat some fish. But they do great, vegetarian curries and
Yeah,
things.
paneer tikka masala is paneer is Indian cheese because I'm
Okay.
vegetarian as well. But
Yeah,
most people get chicken tikka masala, which is fantastic. And then they do tandoori cooking. They've got a special oven called a tandoor where they do the bread and different kinds of cooking in that. Have you never had Indian food?
I have it all the time. I mean, I'm in New York. Yeah. 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 I mean, you're mentioning my favorite dishes, tiki
Yeah.
masala. Um,
Well, that's chicken tikka masala. I don't know if it still is, was the national dish of England.
that I did not know. This is why I
Yeah.
love
That was,
interviews
do you
because I
remember
learn
that,
cool
Jim?
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm in New York City because we have great restaurants. We celebrate all cultures all around the world, but there is nothing like, I guess, having Indian food in India. I mean, it's like,
I think I'd love to go, but I think it would upset me. A friend
uh,
of mine who used to be in the band called Raphael Rudd, and he went to India and he said, Annie, please don't go, because he said he was crying most of the time because of the kids that are coming up to you and, the
Yeah.
poverty.
And
Um,
I see. Yeah,
yeah.
they they cut their own arms off so they can beg. It's horrible.
that is horrible. That is horrible. Oh, what
My,
about you, Annie? Where do you like to eat the most? What countries have you enjoyed?
well, I enjoy going to Brazil. I've got
Okay.
friends down there now. Love Brazil. Yeah, and Bris Michael Dunford and I, at the end of a tour, Warner Brothers wanted to send us off somebody in the band down to two people to Brazil to promote As You Door, the album As You Door,
Oh,
and
right. That
everybody
was
else was down.
79, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Mickey and I went down there, and oh my God, it's fantastic. I mean, vegetarian. There were things I could eat, but it's just the feeling in the place. Well, it was then. It's a little bit more scary now.
How about the coffee? How was the coffee in Brazil? It had to be spectacular.
well, I think it's usually from Colombia, the coffee that they drink in Brazil.
Oh, is that what they do? Okay.
Carlos said most of it is from Colombia or whatever, but yeah,
Right.
I don't like strong coffee. I like smooth, tasty coffee, but not really strong. But yeah, no, and the last few years I've been going there, and with this band, they've started to have these places where you go in and you weigh the food.
Right.
So, but they've got everything. They've got so many things for vegetarians. It's wonderful. That was a big addition that I really liked. So before then, it was a little difficult, but not really.
Is
And
that sort of Portuguese food? Is that
sorry,
it's like a Portuguese food in Brazil?
yeah, it's port. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lot of meat and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're in France. I mean, France has some of the most wonderful cuisine around the world. I was in France a few years ago, and I was just blown away by the food, especially the bakeries. You know,
yeah. Oh, the bakeries are great. Yes, all the
yeah.
croissant and all that stuff, and the bread. Yeah, that's good. I
And
actually got I
yeah,
got taken to a place near here that I don't normally go to. It's quite expensive, and it was really good. And it was a guy that played on. I'm trying to think of his name. He played on Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan, and they recorded it in Minneapolis. Do you know that story?
no, I'm not sure about that one.
It's very interesting because Bob did it with session men in New York,
Okay.
and he didn't like it, so he got all these guys that worked on the railroad that were in Minneapolis, local to him, and they were just amateurs, and they did the album, and he went for that version, which
Okay,
is
yeah, there's like a famous bootleg recording of the Minneapolis sessions, I think, that we're talking
yeah,
about. So
yeah,
this
yeah.
guy owned a place in France that
No. He played the guitar on he
oh, I
played
see.
acoustic on the album, and he took me out because he said, "Oh, I came out and I saw the Yardbirds in about 1965, and I was sort of totally blown away. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, that's neat.
So he
That's
was
neat.
a big fan. So we had a nice evening.
Now, Andy, I wanted to ask you because you mentioned Van Gogh before. Have you ever been to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam?
No,
Okay. How
but I've
about
had my studio.
oh, okay. I see.
I'll tell you why. Okay,
Okay.
so
Sure.
I was on my fourth painting, and when I paint normally I just don't know where anything comes from. It just pours out of me, and I'm full of it now, and I haven't been able to deal with it because I'm doing all these other things. But once I sit down, it'll come out. I won't choose any. I won't think of colors or anything like that or what it's going to be. So this is started after my second painting. The third painting was a UFO over an ocean. So that's what you know where I am.
It's just that's just what came to you, a UFO over an
Stuff I won't
ocean.
tell you right now. But so the third painting, I thought I started off and it was kind of I thought the sky because of course I didn't read the book on oil painting when I got the message in my mind, blah blah blah. So I was running blind here, really didn't know what I was doing. So I just got some blue and I put it up in the sky and I put some pink up there and then I put the sun, and it was kind of basically like red, pink kind of a periwinkle blue and a grey. And but when I was in the middle of it, in front of me, about 2 feet, came this little skein of silk with a little red spider on it.
Ah, nice.
I'm serious, right
Wow.
there, right eye level there. And I kind of took my breath away, right? And then I blinked and it was gone. But then my studio was full of the scent, the odor of pipe tobacco.
Wow.
Pipe smoke for months and months and months and months, my whole studio, and I knew who it was, and it looks like Van Gogh.
I
It
have
was that.
chills listening to
Do
that
you want me to
story.
show it to you? Shall I show you the painting?
Absolutely, yes. Yes, please.
Let me find it. Yeah.
Do you feel that as a songwriter too, Jim? Do you feel you do get inspirations you don't know where they come from?
Yes. I do write. I write a lot of stuff from in this area, because it's very wild and it's sort of, I wouldn't say mountainous, but it's sort of big hills you can walk along, and it's very pretty. It
It's
looks
very
beautiful,
inspiring.
very nice landscape.
Has there ever been a song that hit you where you wrote and you just sat there and you said, "Thank you, thank
Oh
you for
yes,
this."
yes. I did a song called "Walking in the Wildland," and that was about 5 years ago, and I was very pleased with it. It really had all that quality to it, had that rich memory to it, and very very beautiful.
And after you write something like that, you just want people to hear it, right?
Well, yeah, and it's not always easy, to get played. People want to hear all the hits all the time, so
Sure.
it's difficult for people to listen. But everyone that heard it, they all love it. So
Wow. Well,
So
Annie
this
has her picture right there. That Annie, Danny, that is beautiful.
now I started that way up, right? So
Uh,
I did this blue and then, but really, that's what it is.
oh yeah, that's lovely, isn't it?
that is really interesting.
Lovely
Uh,
color.
Simple,
yeah,
it's nothing.
the color really hits you hard.
I was elated. I couldn't believe it what had happened. And every time I walk into the studio, that's the smell that was in there constantly for months.
The pipe.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Wow.
that smoked, doesn't he? Smoked a pipe.
Now, do you have a name for that painting? Do
You
you
know
name
what? I
paintings?
was just looking because it's such a. I did this in 2002, my first year of painting, and I called it Desert of Inspiration.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Do you think
Yeah.
Do
like
you,
when
do
you
you
name
use,
a paint? I'm sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
sorry, do you use that one as a backdrop, Annie, at all?
No, I didn't. But hang on a minute. I'm getting. This is the first one I did of Leonardo.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
great.
wow, the colors there are truly just fabulous. That's stunning.
Yeah, and there's a dragonfly up there, and I was going to put a star up there, and I just got a little bit of white. That's
Oh,
it.
That's
Uh,
very good.
and I messed around with it, and it turned out to be a dragonfly.
wow, look
And
at that.
Oh yes, a little dragonfly. I saw it.
and
Yeah.
apparently he drew like I don't know, quite a few dragonflies. He did many sketches of dragonflies.
Wow.
Oh,
Hey, and your
little
cat
cat.
got into the cat got into the interview.
Cat like
I don't know. I
the cat.
can't think of a question to ask the cat. Maybe what he had for breakfast, but what's your cat's name?
That one is Comet.
Comet. All right.
Comet, yeah. And
That's
the and then I've got another a big giant white one that's got blue eyes, and I called it Asia because it weighs that much. It's so heavy, this cat. So I called him Asia.
yeah. So it's Comet and Asia.
Comet in Asia.
Well, I
And
like
I've
that.
got
Do you
three
have any
feral
pets,
cats.
Jim?
Sorry?
I was asking Jim, do you have any pets there or?
I, I don't have any animal. I've gone through that phase really of having animals. Thing is, I sort of live on my own, and it's not really a place to have animals because I
Well,
go off
you
traveling.
can trip over them from
Well,
easily.
well, yes. Well, nobody can look after them if you go away.
Yeah.
Going away.
Yeah, I've got people that come here and look after the house and everything. So
Sure, but
Yeah,
if you're going out and doing a show or something like that, if you got to travel, right? You have to. That's the tough thing about, having pets is when you go away,
yeah,
you don't have
I've
any.
got perfect people, so I'm very fortunate. I don't
Well,
think I'd get
seeing
another. Sorry.
seeing your artwork,
Hmm.
it really makes sense to me now why you were looking to, retire from the music and to just do this because you found something else that you love that is
It's
inspiring.
just a continuation, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Sure, sure.
And
And Jim,
it's very difficult for me to paint straight lines because everything needs to go. It's like the music. I like music that flows. I don't like, and so yeah, all of my paintings are, yeah, they've all got a lot of movement in them,
there's a
and
bit of
so
a sway
yeah,
to
yeah,
who you are and what you do.
yeah. I
And
do
Jim,
pet portraits as well, but I love doing the painted songs. I paint songs.
oh, that's a great way of saying it. You paint songs.
Songs. What I
Yeah.
do is I ask the people who commission me. I started doing it for the backdrop for the show that we did in 2017, and then I thought, oh, so I started doing them. And what I do is I ask the people to tell me how they feel, what they feel about the song, how they feel inside, and then I paint their feelings. So everyone is different because they're all different people. I've done about 5 or 6 ashes of burnings, and they're all completely different because says different things. It's different people I'm picking up.
That is an incredible idea
Yeah,
because you're performing the music and somehow you're channeling it back to you.
Yeah.
Wow. As opposed to just someone saying, wow, we love it. This is great. But you're actually getting something bigger.
You want to see a couple of painted songs?
Absolutely. Yes, of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
I was just thinking Annie should do a backdrop for one of our shows coming up.
I think this is important. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we'll have back projection for as we tell the story, to
absolutely.
illustrate the story. So we'll have the musicians and people and the lineups and the record covers and all that. But maybe she should do a backdrop. That would be quite nice.
It's a deeper look, because it's a deeper look into Annie and
Yeah, it could
the
be
whole.
quite nice on a couple of songs.
I think so. I think so. And now you're still really engaged in music, Jim. Are you going to release anything new coming out, or are you working on anything?
There's been a few ideas because we actually have a manager now. We didn't have a manager for a while, and he's in LA and he's got a few connections, and he also manages Peter Asher. And of
Okay,
course, Peter's a great producer, so of course
sure.
the ideal thing was, oh, maybe we could do a song and Peter can produce it, And we were thinking about a Graham Gouldman song that never got sort of really recorded properly, although Graham did his own version. But it was a song that Graham had sent me a few years ago when we were thinking of doing an album of new songs. Um, and I think it's a possibility we'll record that.
I think fans would love it. Would love to hear
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Graham wrote some great stuff.
Oh
He's
yeah.
a great.
Yeah. Wow, now
This is
look at that. That is fantastic.
this is Ireland.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's Ireland. Oh, yeah, that's great.
Oh man.
So
Oh,
there
you
is
had.
an island where it should never be,
Yeah,
right?
I've seen that before. I've seen you.
Behind you on stage.
Yeah, you had that as a backdrop, didn't you?
Yeah.
What a fantastic backdrop. How do you feel performing and having that as your backdrop
Oh,
while you're performing?
well, the first time, which was 2017, I thought, I was saying to myself, don't turn around because not only were we playing with an orchestra for the first time in 40 years or something, right? But there are all my paintings behind as well. I can't explain it. I mean, I just had to be very careful that I didn't forget the words. But it was, well, what a feeling. I mean, ridiculous. This is Ashes Are Burning.
Oh
Oh,
wow. Yeah.
yeah. Very
Annie,
good.
that's wonderful. The colors are just stunning.
Yeah.
Did you put that up too?
That went up, yeah.
Yeah.
That went up when we did Ashes Are Burning, that went up.
I mean,
Then
that the
this one
ultimate form of artistic expression is to have your paintings being shown while you're singing and playing music.
this one is Kalinda.
Nice. Beautiful.
Oh, lovely.
How long does it take you to do a painting like that?
But 3 hours.
Really? I thought you might we were going to say a year or two. 3 hours?
Yeah, no,
Amazing.
I've got a problem.
Wow.
This is a song for all seasons.
Yeah. I like that one. That one is very interesting. There's so much depth to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how clear you're seeing it.
Oh, it's coming
Oh, is
really
it?
clearly through.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah. Yes, very nice.
Yeah. So I did all 10 songs and
Wow. And you did it
Maybe
that quickly, huh? Just a couple of hours, most of
it
these things.
depends what it is.
Sure.
can you do
It
one for backdrop for us, Annie?
Sorry?
Can you do a backdrop for us?
What?
One of for Bruce. Bruce could
Well,
project.
you mean, well, I don't know whether I could do on,
See,
I mean,
Annie?
so it would like to start the show off. It would have that on the beginning with yeah, something like that. If I've got time, I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
asking what size would be better. They'd be better to do a what? I'm
This is
trying to
fun to listen to a
saw the
negotiation going
backdrop that you
on.
had. I'm not sure if it was what it. I'd have to talk to him. Let me
You'd
find out.
have to say what size he wanted, sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's just I haven't learned the songs yet, by the way.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
right.
No,
Yeah. But
so
I'm sure that'll
I'm
come pretty easy for you.
uh,
And nowadays, everybody has teleprompters,
I
right?
got
Just
to show
about
you
that
another
easier.
one.
Absolutely. So
yeah,
are you
because
looking forward to these shows, Jim? Or you must be looking forward to doing these.
we're going to do a few different songs. We're going to do a couple of songs I did with another later project called Shoot,
Okay.
and Renaissance covered one of those songs on the Frontier, so we'll do that version.
Oh, that's nice.
And another song that got a lot of play on the local station down at St. Louis, KSHE. Um, was that yeah, KSHE. And also, we're going to do a couple of illusion songs.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Oh,
that'll be interesting.
yeah, that'll be
Danny.
great.
Yeah, yeah. So lot of people are interested in that.
So these seem like they're going to be long shows. I mean, because you're doing the talking and then you're doing the performing. So
It's
Yeah,
gonna around 2.5 hours, I think.
yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is something people are going to want to buy tickets for and get there and be there. This
Well, I
sounds
hope
like a
so.
real. This.
So I've
Oh,
got
I think so.
here, and I started it off like this, but then I realized that I thought it was like a cave, and there were
I love the purple and
lots of
blue.
people in the background there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that.
But I turned it upside down, and it turned out like this.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
So it's a buffalo.
Wow, look at that.
Of course it is. Yeah.
It's
Wow,
a
is that like a whole, is that an art form, just turning pictures upside down to create a
well,
completely different
sometimes yeah,
visual?
sometimes and that there is all it's called an audience with Almighty Buffalo. And all those are all people down there, and that's the buffalo up there,
Wow.
right? Looking like watching over them.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Look, wow, look at that. Yeah. I would point to it, but you would have no idea where I'm pointing to. But wow, I love how the buffalo's looking over the people there and the colors
Yeah,
and the green and the purple and the blue.
yeah.
That's a fabulous painting.
I love it. So it's like only 6 by 9. It's very small.
Now, have you done like your own art shows? Have you done stuff like that?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. I and I paint. Yeah, have you heard of Mark Wood? He was the lead violinist in Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
yes, of course, yes.
And when he left, he started his own violin company, building violins. And they're like they're a bit like flying V guitars. That's the
Oh,
style
okay.
of them. And so I've done
Sure.
about 15 or something for them. I get commissioned to paint them, paint all of them. And I've done one. There was one in Martin Museum. I did one for Martin Guitars, and it was called Milestones and Miracles. And I painted every part of the guitar. And then they commissioned me to do one to sell, but I could only paint the front and the headstock because of the sound. It would affect the sound.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you really define the term Renaissance, Annie.
I guess it does. Yeah, I
You
never thought.
really, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, I was just about to call you a real Renaissance woman, and I realized the, you know, meaning there. I mean,
He's a Renaissance woman.
yeah, she is a Renaissance woman, and how do we actually really define that? I mean, wow. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I love painting with a passion, huge passion.
I think you just love living. I think that's what this comes down to,
Yeah.
right? It's all about life itself.
Yeah. I
Artists,
wish I could do something more with it, though, to do something for the planet more, rather than just try and make some money, give some money here and there. I wish I could do more, but I
well,
don't, you know.
I think both of you have done so much already with the music that you've
Yeah.
given to
I
this
think
planet.
that we're going to send people away laughing their heads off, if nothing else.
But
Maybe we should do the talk at the end.
Love
that's pretty funny. But no, well, I mean, I know both of you realize that already, but just you think about what you've contributed to society, culture, and life itself with your music and your performances. I mean, you can't
It's a
ask for any
lot,
more.
really, isn't it? Because like Jim didn't just stop. He carried on with all these other bands and
Yes.
projects and things.
And I think that's wonderful, Jim. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, well, I love music, and I consider myself very lucky, to keep going at it, to keep being able to do it.
yes, yeah. I mean, that's what you should be doing. This is what you love,
Hmm.
you know,
Well, yeah, yeah, it's doing something I love.
and it inspires you.
It
And
was funny because the local guy here, and I was having a drink of wine with him. He's a Swedish guy, and he was saying to me, "Oh, is it right, Jim? You actually make money from your hobby?" Because they're all used to doing a
yeah,
job, with their
Right.
pension and
yeah,
everything, and I'm making money from my hobby.
yeah. Well, I've always believed that like step one for a musician is if you can make a living as a musician, that is success right there, you know? And then
Yeah,
anything
you
after
have to
that.
have a day job.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
People say, "How do what can I want to be a singer?" I said, "Well, you could be a singer, but you have to get a day job."
yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
for most people, but
Yeah.
there are some, that have, it's gotten tougher. It was easier in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s to make a living as a musician.
Yeah,
It's much tougher now than it ever was.
it is.
But there have been
Yeah,
people that have done it.
because there's so many outlets to put it, and there's so many places to play that are booked up with people, and you can't get in,
Yeah.
to play.
It depends. Like piano players, we have it a little easier because there's always work for piano players.
Mm,
There's
right.
it's a lot more open than a drummer. It's drummers.
yeah,
You can't just play drum in a little cafe, but you can do that with the piano.
Yeah, piano you can, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
But
that depends.
most of the musicians we work with, I mean, they're all doing jobs all the time, aren't they? They're playing somewhere else,
Oh
some
my
gig.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah,
They're able
it's
to go and do it.
yeah. It's if you want to do it, it can be done, and you have to have a good agent too, because
Yes.
they're the ones who find you to work, and you don't have to worry about getting paid because they take care of that. But anyway, I don't want to drift too far off here. It's been wonderful talking to you. So I don't want to keep you longer. It's really been a joy. Annie, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful artwork.
No, I,
It
I
was,
I wasn't thinking of doing this, but when you brought it up, I thought, well, the painted songs, I thought you need to see the painted songs. There was one guy though, I have to tell this story, it's so funny. And he's had a couple of paintings from me before. And he wanted me to paint a self-portrait of myself. And it was the funniest thing because it looked like one of a blow-up doll in the end because I got big lips in it. I changed it, but it's the funniest. I'll show it you when you're here, Jim. I've got pictures of it in the different stages, you know. It's the
okay.
funniest thing. First of all, I look like Mick Jagger. I thought, what am I doing? But it turned out great in the end. But so this guy's had several paintings from me, and he said, "Would you please paint Ashes are Burning?" And so he he um, he wanted an 18 by 24, and I asked him to tell me, how it made him feel and something about himself. And so I did this painting, and he said halfway through, he said, I hope you don't mind, but would you mind incorporating? I've got a photograph of me on my first parachute jump I did this past summer.
Oh
And so
man.
I took a picture of him coming down, and he said, would you incorporate it into the painting? And I did.
Wow.
Coming down out of the sky. And the thing is, though, there's like in the background, the horizon, there's a sea, there's an ocean. And on top of that ocean is a parrot's head, a big side of a parrot's head, right? Don't ask me why, because I don't know why I put it there. And it was a beautiful red. And then on top of it, I thought, well, maybe if I put a landing pad for him to fall on to the parrot's head, right? I can't show it to you, but I've got it on my desktop, but I can't show it to you.
Sure.
Um, and so when I sent it to him, he said, "How did you?" He said, "That's amazing. How did you know I love parrots?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what an end to that story.
That's happened before when with certain paintings I've ended up putting something in that's personal to
Yeah.
them, whatever, and not knowing who they are really just pops in.
Wow. You have so many stories. We could
I
probably
know.
speak for hours and hours and hours.
That's what I said. He's going to be kicking me.
Yes.
Stop it! Shut up! Stop it!
Boy, oh boy, I think those concerts are going to go pretty long. I think
Well,
those shows.
they can't because of the curfews.
Ah, the curfews.
Yeah, so
Wow.
we have to keep it. Yeah, we've got to be very strict with this.
Yeah. You may want to start them earlier
Yeah, yeah.
because wow, the people are really going to get their money's worth when they go to these shows.
Hmm.
And then you're performing. Wow. Wow. Well,
I hope that, yeah.
It's been a fascinating and enjoyable conversation tonight to have with you, Annie and Jim. Thank you very much, and I'm sure that everybody's going to enjoy watching this and listening to it and seeing your artwork and hearing all your stories. It's really been a great joy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you've got a website, Jim, haven't you? What's your website?
Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
J JimMcCarty.com.
Okay.
Mine's anniehaslam.com. I'm just building a new site, with somebody else, a new website because this one needs to be
Well,
updated. But there's a lot of my art on there.
well, this interview will go into an article, and in the article, I'll put those links so people could just click right on them.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You
Nice
know,
meeting you, Brian.
yeah, it's nice meeting both of you. Thank you very much, and
Okay,
maybe
thank
we'll
you.
talk again one day.
Yes, absolutely. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. Take care
Okay.
now.
Cheers.
Bye
Yeah,
bye.
bye bye. Bye bye.